Hello. So, I wanted to come in to chat with you all about some other current energies I've been experiencing that I feel like could possibly help other people as well, and my intuitive knowing and guidance behind it. But I've really been recognizing within myself, as well as interactions with other people, that we have a tendency to really limit ourselves at times. And you don't, I just am here to remind you that you don't have to limit yourself. Uh, Definitely when the limiting happens, I've been feeling like huge disappointment coming up, almost like a grief. And I think this also speaks to the timing and the experience in your life, especially when you're stepping from something older ways of being into newer ways of being, or um, an old experience into a new experience. Um, the main point I wanted to bring up is to find creative ways to express the energy that's moving through you. So, this could be, well, you all know what it is for you. Just You will be guided to it, trust it, do it in the ways that you feel most resonant with. It could be a song, it could be poetry, it could be writing, another form of writing, it could be drawing, it could be moving your body, creating a dance, creating anything, anything you can think of, making a piece of jewelry, creating some sort of new form of art. It could be a video. It could be, yeah, there's just so many. I'll let you keep going on with that. And so it's important for us not to attach to those things that are weighing us down, but to recognize that there are things that we experience, and some of us feel a lot, and some of us avoid feeling a lot, because it's too much, right? Although feeling is one of our ways through to the expansion of yourself and expressing those feelings. So I've been recognizing in areas where, like, either I've been keeping myself back, or maybe um, people that I relate to are not letting me finish expressing what I feel resonant to express. And this is just your reminder to not limit yourself, whether it has to do with yourself or other people. And there's probably a little bit of both, because we do it to ourselves. There are people in our life that feel like, it's contraction. There's contraction or there's expansion. So, how do you feel? How do certain people and the experiences with them uh, feel? So, one of my biggest challenges this week was like, I just had this extreme feeling of not being heard, not being seen. And I recognize that it goes to a lot of places. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to say it goes back. There's a lot of experiences within this lifetime, as well as other aspects of self, that experienced this. And it's interesting that we've probably played both roles in this situation before where you're the one limiting someone else, and then we've had the experience of being limited as well. And so the wounding that comes along with that is multifaceted. It's, yeah, you've been the one that's done it, and then you've been in the experience where it's done to you. So there's pain and wounds around it that go really deep for many of us, especially those that are tapping into um, ourselves on such a deep level and the many aspects that we're connected to. So it's important. I know I brought this up in another one. It's important to let people finish expressing themselves as well as you figuring out a way to, if you don't feel like you're getting to express into the completeness what you want to express. So find a way in which you are able to do that. Find if you're not able to do it with a certain person, if you're not able to do it with certain people or certain groups, that's okay. Find a way, write it out, make a song, do something that expresses it within and for yourself. And another one I end up sometimes feeling like I get into shutdown mode or overwhelm. And this is another one that I find it interesting to have to work through for myself and recognizing that that's not helping you, that's not helping anyone else. So finding ways to express your whatever you're going through, the energy you're feeling, the um, whatever it is, letting it move through in a way. You have to just pick your creative way of expressing and letting it come out. And when I say that, obviously we don't want to be taking things out on other people because oftentimes whatever we're going through has a lot to do about us and they might be bringing it up within you in an experience. So we want to find healthy ways of expressing it that um, sort of a way to overcome certain things that we're feeling or needing to move through. The other things that I just want to bring up to pay attention to within yourself, but within others, and not attaching to it when it comes up in others, not taking it personally when it comes up in others. But there's also a lot of energy around like judgment or how this should be, and let me push my point onto someone else or a situation. It's interesting to recognize it. It's easier to see it coming up in other people than in yourself, but it's one of those forms of controlling energy that I've talked about before that just pay attention to where it's coming up in you, where it's coming up in your life. And, are these what we want to be living in, or are these, or do we want to be continuing them or perpetuating them, or do we want to be moving past it and find new ways of being? Um, so yeah, I think my biggest issue is like in recognizing lately where I shrink, where I make myself smaller in order for someone else to, um, feel okay or and not, like, stop expressing something because of that, and this is definitely not part of who I authentically wanna be. I obviously authentically wanna be in my depth of feeling, in my depth of experiencing. I don't wanna be stuffing things down and not being able to express, um, what I came here to be and express. It doesn't help anyone, or in particular, it doesn't help yourself. So, if you recognize other people putting you down or making you feel small for expressing who you are, just recognize that's about them and their comfort level and their comfort experience. It's not about you. It really isn't. And going back into that self-love and that self-responsibility and remembering, like I said in the beginning, how are we limiting ourselves? Just because other people are limiting situations or limiting themselves doesn't mean that we have to participate in it and feel that weight that we're really putting on ourselves, to be honest. And it doesn't matter what anybody else does. We turn around and we do it to ourselves. So, that being said, deep breath. We got this. And yeah, let's pay attention to ourselves, recognize what's coming up, and love yourself through it, love the other people through it, and yeah, we got this, friends. We got this. 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 And like, comment, share if you feel resonant to these messages. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.